We're going to create this Rihanna look, which is very dewy. It's a very clean eye. It's very timely. A dark lip is very trendy. So we're going to just start out with perfecting the skin. It's not a heavily contoured look. It's very dewy, and it just really relies on a very natural dew. So I'm going to show you guys how to achieve a very dewy complexion. So we're going to start with concealer. I'm going to do it with this Laura Mercier concealer brush. It's called, actually they call it the camouflage powder, but basically it's a synthetic. Gets into like the crevices in the eye and is great for concealer. And I'm going to use this Kevyn Aucoin, which is the Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX12. Started by prepping the skin with a moisturizer. This is my favorite. It's not labeled right now, but this is it's a cream moisturizer. It's Cetaphil. I love how emollient it is. It just gives her skin a really nice sheen already. And we've gone ahead and prepped her skin by giving her a healthy dose of moisturizer already. And we're going to do some coverage right under the eye. We're not going to take it down as far as we did in our contour video because this is not such a structured matte contour look. We're just going to really kind of be concerned about still maintaining that brightness inside her face, on the inside of her face that we love. We're not going to do it so exaggerated this time, but we are going to be concerned with covering any dark circles. I'm putting it on very sheer, as you can see, and I'm going to buff it out even more sheer. Start with the Moist Beauty Blender and just tap everything in. I'm really going in and making this pretty sheer, letting the coverage be right under her eyes and really thinning this out. It's a really sheer, dewy, natural look. I'm going to add in a luminizer. If you see Rihanna's face in that photo, it's very shimmery. So what I'm going to use on her is Nars Illuminator. It's a liquid shimmer. For Liris' complexion, Lagina is a great color. If you're fair, like more like my complexion, you can try MAC Strobe Cream. You really just want like a cream product that has a shimmer in it. I'm going to literally mix a little bit of it in with the color. It's going to thin out and sort of make it dewy. So you can see when we've mixed it, you can see that there's now a shimmer into the color. It hasn't really affected the color too much. It has made it a little warmer and bronzier, but that look is a warm bronzy look. And you see when I put it up that it's a little more reflective than it is under her eyes. And that's how we're going to get that sort of dewy look that Rihanna has in our inspiration photo. Again, just tapping it into the skin. You can see that it's starting to pick up some of the light, that reflection. Same way we brought it down before, the lighter color here. So we're kind of doing our same contour theory as far as where we place the color, but we've thinned it out with the luminizer to really just get some sheer shimmery coverage. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. We never want to wipe. We're always pressing in. So now we're going to mix two products for the rest of her face. We're going to choose her foundation color, which is the Teint Idole. We're going to also mix that with the Illuminator, just half and half pretty much. And I'm just going to use a foundation brush. I think this is a MAC brush. It's just a full, fluffy, synthetic. And we can again see that when we add the luminizer into the product that it's very golden almost. There's a lot of reflection. Because we want to keep it sheer, I'm hardly putting any, and I'm just going to really kind of work it into her skin, but we're not caking it on her. It's a very, like I said, a sheer dewy look. When you're doing a dewy look, you really don't want to cake it on heavy. It's all about kind of reflecting light off your face. Just a little bit again, and again, we know this doesn't match here, but we know that it matches her body. Tap that in. Just giving her kind of an overall even, dewy look. To extra enhance the dewiness, especially like on the cheekbone, I'm going to take the Illuminator. I'm going to put some on my hand, just like that. I'm going to take some directly on the blender, thin it out, and then I'm going right for her cheekbone. And just buffing it out, and if you turn to your left, You can just kind of see how that's catching the light even more and just really helping to illuminate her cheek. And turn back to me. A little bit here. I'm using just a small brush because I want to be very precise. This is a MAC blender. I don't know the number on it. It's a 222. Just taking a little bit of powder. Look up. I'm just going to lay it just where I want it. We want to really maintain the shimmer on her face. That's the whole point of this look. It's very dewy. Leaving kind of all this shimmer in the middle on her cheekbones. Just cutting it out in places that make you look really greasy. The look is very, very shimmery, so I want to choose something that has a good shimmer to it. I'm going to use Iman in Nutmeg. It's a beautiful kind of golden, it's very shimmery when you put it on. I'm usually kind of opposed to too much shimmer under the brow, but this look kind of is calling for it. I'm going to do two things with this color. I'm going to use just a fluffy, it's a Sonia Kashuk brush. Closer a sec. I'm going to do a little bit of the highlight under her brow, and because I don't want it to be too harsh, I'm going to put a little bit. I'm going to take that soft blending brush, buff it away a little bit. We're always buffing things away so it's not too harsh. I'm also going to take the same highlight and go on the inside of her lid. I'm going to use two different brushes. I'm going to use the MAC 219. I always use this in the crease because it lets you be very precise about where you're putting color. And I'm going to use this crease blender. I don't even know what this is. I think it was like $1 at Target, literally. But it's a blender, a fluffy. I'm going to use this Mally palette. It's called City Chick in the Buff. I love it. It's just basically a selection of neutral colors. A lot of you guys might try Urban Decay Naked palette would work for this. Naked 2 palette. Any palette that has neutral colors is going to work for you. For Liris, I'm probably going to go a little more in this coppery, cool coppery tone for her crease. I'm going to start with the pointy brush and then I'm going to blend it out with this brush. If you have eyes like Liris, hers kind of protrude out. Some people have a flatter or a sharper crease, but when you don't have such a sharp crease, I'm actually going to find where her real crease would be, which is where the socket bone is. You can kind of see how it's naturally there. I'm actually going to create her crease right there. I'm going to lay the product down. And this is also a shimmery product. This whole look is very shimmery. The whole thing's going to catch the eye. I'm starting more on the outside of her eye just to define it and coming in a little bit. It's a very sheer color. It's not going to need a huge ton of blending out. I'm going to take a gel liner. This is Lancome Liner Design in black. I always like a gel liner because it's movable, but it also lasts. So you kind of have time to work with it before it settles too much. I'm going to use a puff just to not mess up her foundation. You don't have to go in a solid line. I think people make that mistake and they are like, I can't figure out how to do a straight line. You can just kind of trace a little bit in because we're going to buff it out anyway. And then I'm going to use a sort of small pointed brush that's clean and just go over it to soften it a little bit because it's not a very harsh look that Rihanna has. And I'm not taking it too far past. I'm giving her just like a little bit of a wing. Again, we're just going to come out just a little bit past where the lash ends. Nothing crazy. We're not giving her this like extended cat eye. Use a brow pencil to fill in her brows a little bit. They don't need too much. This is Anastacia Brow Wiz. It has a pencil and a mascara wand, or we call it a spoolie brush. Not making it too perfect in the brow. Pretty soft. Nice shape. Subtle. Nothing harsh. Turn towards it. A Milani Baked Bronzer in Soleil. It's very shimmery. We're just maintaining the shimmer look. You can use a cream bronzer even for this. But basically what we're going to do is just highlight or enhance her cheekbone but still maintain that shimmer. I'm going to use a MAC 129. It's just like a fluffy blush brush. Take a little bit of the product, starting kind of from the back, not dipping below her cheekbone line, so we're still kind of maintaining that fake contour without actually carving out a contour. It's like a very soft look. Concentrating the back of the cheekbone. Kind of never want to go further in than the pupil of the eye on blush, unless you have very, very apple-y cheeks that need kind of like that apple-y highlight. Otherwise it can look kind of clowny. I'm going to use Lancome Hypnose Star. I love this. It's a pretty cool mascara. It's the brush is like spiky on the sides and then short, so it kind of helps you get in like the shorter area, the longer area. Give you like really nice flirty lashes. I'm gonna have her look down. When you're doing makeup on someone else, have them look down, and you can gently press her eye and pull it up. You can do this right against your finger to stop any spotting onto your makeup. I'm gonna use Stila Longwear lip color in Daring. I really like these. They are kind of like a crayon. They twist up, so you never really have to sharpen. It's self-sharpening. And I'm just gonna go around and lay it on. Transfer the color. It's not a very solid coat of this color. One more tap. Perfect.